What up, fellow headbangers? How you doing? I'm Robb, and welcome to the Greasiest of all time. Today we're chilling with Noogies Crew from Malta. How you guys doing?
Hi, we're all right.
Why don't
Thank
you
you. Hi.
introduce yourselves? Oh, no worries. It's nice to meet you guys. Why don't you introduce
Um,
yourself and tell us how the band got together?
well, I'm Noogie. I'm the front man, basically. Uh, yeah, and the other guy, that's Charles. He's my father. He's the bassist in the band, and I'm the singer and the lead and the rhythm guitarist. Um, uh, Noogies Crew got together around. I think it was 2011. The first lineup was me, my dad on bass, and the drummer Mario. Um, uh, and We were a three-piece for a long time, to be honest. And then we started looking for another guitarist to help us out. Um, uh, through the years, even I stopped the band and restarted it. I think it was 2015 then. Um, uh, then again to to find another guitarist here is kind of a difficult thing because everybody's got his own band and all that. But yeah, eventually we got a guy named David Cassar-Torreggiani. He's a really good friend of mine. I've worked with him with other projects. We actually did a song for Blaze Bailey together.
Cool.
In a project called Digger Things. David then he had to leave Noogies Crew because of his personal projects. And then we got a guy called Jonathan Camilleri, who he fitted with us instantly. We loved him, how the playing and the influences that he had, and yeah, we've been like that now ever since.
That's awesome. So you guys are a four-piece? Or
Yeah, now we're a four-piece. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Your the album that you just released a
Yeah.
little while ago. It's really well written. It's got
Thank
a unique style because you guys
Thanks.
vary from like some songs are really heavy, but they have like these melodic chill back and vocals kind of going on, and then
Yeah.
some of your songs are like in your face punk rock almost.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite things about it was when you guys first submitted your songs. I was trying to get a hold of you, and I was like, I really want this song. I want to get a hold of these guys. So it's cool that I got you on finally because
Awesome.
it's a wicked album. I listened to it all morning too because I tend to do that. So it's nice to listen to front to back and hear an album at how it progresses, not just a bunch of songs thrown together.
No. I mean, that's the thing. That's basically the journey. Noogies Crew had writing the songs. Some of them are even pre Jonathan when Jonathan came. So and most of them are when Jonathan came and we wrote the songs all together. Yeah, and it's every song has its own character.
Yeah, it definitely
so to
does.
speak.
How was the experience? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is obviously each guitarist, especially the lead guitarist, has a stamp on the song that he's playing. And so when Jonathan came and starting getting along with the band, obviously he gave us a bit of his influences. And so our song progressed more, in my opinion, and they got more detailed. The riffs and the solos got more technical, and I think it's, let's call it, our basic hard rock sound got very much into a modern sound, modern heavy rock sound with the arrival of Jonathan Camilleri.
Yeah, he's really talented. Is that the guy with the longer hair?
Yeah,
In the
Yeah.
image? Yeah, you can
Yeah,
tell
but now
you can
he
tell
changed
he's
it
a
up.
metalhead.
yeah,
Subconsciously,
yeah.
right? Like,
No.
but I mean,
Well, Jonathan's
the way he
main
plays.
influences. I mean, he listens to a lot of animals as leaders. I don't know, from like the
Yeah,
Dragon Force to
Polyphia. Yeah,
Rhapsody, that stuff.
like
Complicated stuff, basically.
technical
But
metal. Yeah.
yeah. Well, whilst especially me and Charles, we mostly listen to like Maiden, Sabbath, and Motorhead, and Judas Priest.
Mm.
I mean, to mix that those things. I mean, that's what mainly Noogies Crew is. Plus, having that old school sound with a modern touch to it. When it comes
Yeah, and
to
you definitely
recording
feel
and all
that. You definitely feel that in listening to it, that it's got classic metal merged with lead influence from modern prog metal nowadays, which is
Yeah.
really cool to hear, because most times
That's
bands will
great.
take one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Either be strictly metal because they have to stick to that genre. I think a lot of bands that can break that box and be like, you know what, we write music, we don't have a genre.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a cool thing.
That's what we do. That's how we write the songs. We feel where this particular song should go, and we'll go from that.
And it's cool how you can bring an idea to the band, you know what I mean? And you have
Yeah,
this whole
exactly.
vision of what the song's going to be, and then they put their salt and pepper on it, and it goes complete opposite direction that you thought it would, but it's 10 times better.
Most of the time, that's how all the songs were done, basically.
Right, and it's super cool. Like, our guitar player is from the UK. He's from Nottingham.
Yeah, all right.
Incredible guitar player, but he like not just changed my opinion on guitar, my views, but as a vocalist, he changed my whole perspective of how to follow different melodies or use guitar techniques in my vocal style. So it was kind of a cool thing. How has COVID affected you guys for your band so far?
I mean, well, here in Malta especially, it hit hard. It hit very hard, actually. I mean, there are no events, there are no any type of gigs at all. Even I used to do some acoustic stuff, in pubs and all that. That's nothing. That's long gone. I mean, the event industry here in Malta has had a really big blow. Well, whilst that was happening, I mean, we still, as much as we could, I mean, rehearse in our garage, in our practice space, and we still write as much as we can new material. But mainly that's what. But even the thing was that we launched the album on December 6th, 2019, and then like we had all these things planned to like even to start now going abroad as well, which that we had COVID came and we threw everything out the window, and we couldn't do anything of that, and and we couldn't even promote the album, so we played the whole album on the launch, and that's it basically. I mean, then we had to promote it obviously through other means, to social media and all that. I mean, but anyway, it's that's COVID. I mean, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and I think that's a general consensus basically with every country has basically all musicians have lost. But I think a lot of the bands that have taken that step to become a business aspect of it, use social media to benefit themselves, will
I mean, that's
see the rewards soon as COVID's finished. Because you guys will be ahead of the game, as where other bands are like, oh, well, how do we get seen now? It's
exactly.
You gotta adapt,
And it's in the music industry in general, probably would be the last industry to recover from all this.
So, and I don't think it's going to be the same. I don't think it'll be the same. I think there's going to be a big shift in how the music industry is run.
Yeah,
for sure. Just mainly with the independence of artists, and during COVID, the last year and a bit, it's been 100% in independence, because most artists have had to record because they can't go into a studio. They have to use their own home equipment to do it.
Yeah.
And that alone, I think that'll give the artist that confidence to just be like, you know what, we can do this on our own again. And if I think banding together with other bands and putting on your own festivals, I think that's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, that's the I mean, René Hill, he's one of the René, our manager. He's one of the main contributors to the metal scene here in Malta, to be honest.
That's wicked.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I do organize an international festival, Dark Malta, so mainly I have like over 24 international bands which come to play over here. It's more on the gothic and industrial metal side of things, but it's like, it's one of the main festivals in Europe in this genre, and it's the second year that it has been postponed already, because it happens in April. So in Malta, it was like the big first festival to be postponed last year, and we also have to postpone it this year for next year. Also as a club owner, because I do also own the only metal club in Malta. It's like we've been now closed already 1 year. And with the new restrictions, we already know that even next month we won't be able to open. God knows when events will happen, actually, because from what we can understand is before the country has like herd immunity, which is like 70% of the population which will get vaccinated, which it's like it will be happening in October. I don't think really events will start happening. So that means, you know, as Nigel well said, the event industry, the music industry in general, really, it will take long to recover. And also, as you well said, it will not be the same.
100%.
For sure, promoters and bands will have to find an easier way to come together. I mean, both sides have to understand each other needs more than before. Before, maybe not always happened that promoter and bands understand each other needs. But 100%. If they want to make the industry survive, they will have to understand each other needs, know the problems of both promoters and, of course, both the bands. Both sides have got their expenses, so I think it will time that the music industry will really have to come together now, and because that will be the only way to make it survive. For sure. I mean, at least I can speak about here in Europe. Hellfest, which is maybe one of the biggest metal festivals worldwide, has already been postponed, and that's in June. From the information I'm having from fellow festival organizers all around Europe, I don't think really nothing will happen in summer.
No.
So if things will restart, I think it will be next spring, really, because even from the information I'm having from the bands that I had booked for Dark Malta for next year, they're already telling me that they cannot come because they're postponing their autumn gigs for next spring. So what we can understand, that at least I can speak about Germany and the UK, they're already postponing their autumn gigs for spring. So even next autumn will be difficult, I believe. So if things will restart, it will be real on a bigger scale. I think it will be next year.
Yeah, I agree.
I
know that there's some bands in Australia that are I mean, I've seen posts I'm in an Australian metal page to find some bands, and a lot of them have festivals with like a couple bands on it that are getting ready to do, and it's coming up. But I think Australia had a lot easier lockdown because they kind of just stopped altogether right from the beginning. They were smart about it. They were just like, no, our countries don't come. You're not welcome, kind of a thing. So I definitely think that they're able to. I think there's some places that are, but I know Canada, they're talking about a third wave lockdown, and I'm like, can we just perform? I just want to perform.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to play.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know the feeling. Yeah.
It's one word. We're the same thing.
Yeah.
I guess it's all over the world.
Everywhere, and it's kind of a funny thing to hear everybody from different places talk, because I've talked to people from the States, Sweden, UK, Malta, Hungary, bands from here, and like
it's
everywhere, the music scene. It's inevitable, but at the same time, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
To see that every single place has the same problem right now, and everybody agrees that we all need to just work together to build it up from the ground up again.
Of course, it's the only way. I mean, like I said, it's the last industry that's gonna recover. So it might as well just fuck it, and we'll work together to do it.
Yeah, no, 100%. We may as well
even this. I mean, this helps everybody. I mean, the conversations we have with other musicians from other countries. I mean, it helps a lot.
Yeah, it's a cool thing, and I noticed a lot of bands, they start to understand that we're all the same. You know, it doesn't matter where we're from. Like, quite literally, we all have the same struggles. Like, we all struggle to eat. We all go to work 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
We all have fights. We're all human, you know. So
yeah,
it definitely, and it's also good for the fans to see, like, get to meet who they listen to, and kind of on a personal basis, because most people don't understand what musicians think or how they feel. They just know that we write music and we party, but they don't see the struggle, the business side, the intelligence side that most bands have, because most bands are artistic. They're next level artistic. So they're highly intelligent. They all have different thoughts and theories, and that's kind of what influences their music. So it's cool to see different perspectives from all over the world. If there was one thing you guys could change in the music industry, what do you think it would be?
Change in the music industry. That's a difficult one.
I always ask this one different for bands, because it's kind of like my initial brain sneaking into your brain to be like, we're all going to work and remold the metal scene. So what are the like the ideas we all think, kind of a thing. So it's cool to hear everyone's perspective.
Yeah.
Well, what I think is that perhaps this big, what they call them, labels, whatever you call them, they can listen more, or they can be more, what's the right word to use in English, open to newer bands, because probably newer bands can change direction to music, which sometimes I personally think needs change, because many times change is good. Change is good. So I think even it's not just in the rock business, it's in every sector of the music. I think we're heading, it's a long time that we've had something new, that we said, this is new, this is different than the rest, and it's good. So I think perhaps the music industry should listen more, or be attentive more for newer sounds. That's what I think.
It's very true.
Yeah, I mean, to continue with that, I mean, the fact that, I mean, I'm assuming you're the same age as me. I mean, I'm 28.
Yeah, I'm 2 years older. I turned 30. I turned 31 in a little bit, but
all right.
Yeah, we're definitely in the same bracket.
29.
No, he's 50 something. No, I mean, the fact that everything is changing so drastically. I mean, I remember just listening, popping up CDs on the stereo, and listening to to all the bands that I love from there. Now that everything is like digitalized, Spotify and all that, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because now music has become
More accessible.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. More accessible, and you can't just. I mean, sometimes you need like to turn, not like turn. I mean, turn off. Yeah, that's the word. From music per se, but it has become like like in a factory, like music is coming from everywhere, every second, from everybody. It has been not like it's not like something so precious anymore, to be honest. I mean,
no, it's true.
I mean, that's what's pissing me off, to be honest, in any type of music, that really. But yes, but then again, obviously now with COVID, since it hit very hard and no metal band and rock band or whatever is playing live anymore. I mean, to me, that's right now, currently, what's pissing me off, and most probably everybody else in the world. Yeah, the change, the change is pissing me off. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's definitely become a weird concept because it's so flooded that it'd be back like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a band would end up with 1 million followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
Now it's hard to get 100,000 kind of a thing. It's hard to get 10,000 because there's less people inclined to go and like your page because there's so much music that they feel like you should be giving more to them.
Like I said, it's not a bad thing, but you know, it's getting harder. That's what it is.
It's definitely getting harder to be heard. And I think that's true, that labels should be kind of how they were back when Elvis was as an artist. You know what I mean? They looked for the recent talent. They didn't just sit and ride the coattails of the artists they have and try and just like sell them out as much as they can. They need to be finding that new talent because change is inevitable and it's key to progression in music, because if we didn't have change, we would never have had Metallica.
Yeah, of course.
We would never have had Black Sabbath. We would never have any of the artists that we idolize. And it's kind of, the industry has almost cut off the artistic aspect of music to make a product instead of being like, here's the product we used to serve, here's now the new product, which is a dolled up artist who does tons of music videos and makes millions of dollars in a theatrical performance, but doesn't touch an instrument. Exactly. So for me, the love of musicians has died.
No, that's been dead long time, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's definitely a sad thing because you see tons of artists, especially in metal music, who have dedicated 20 years of their life to mastering a skill that most people would hear and just be like, eh. But in reality, it's like any other musician hears it and is like, oh my God, like that was an insane sweep. So it's
exactly.
But people, I don't think if they don't play an instrument, they won't ever understand that, or if they don't sing for themselves.
The industry, it's become mainly by musicians for musicians.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fans, if they hear it, all right, they like it, all right, good. If they don't, bugger off. I mean, that's it. Full stop. There's no in betweens.
Yeah,
that's the. I mean, here, especially here in Malta, I mean, mainly the main crowd, so to speak. Obviously, they have all the same people that hear you and love hearing you all the time, and then there's mostly musicians from other bands that come and watch you, and because they like music and all that. It's becoming more and more by musicians for musicians in here in Malta, at this situation, our situation.
Same here. I my buddy, actually, if my buddy Robb hears this, he'll laugh because he's been saying that forever, that like you go to perform and you're just performing for the other bands because there's nobody who wants to pay $5 to go to a show. But they'll spend $12 on a drink at the bar. It's why don't you spend $5 here and then go buy a drink? And just there's a disconnect from fans and bands, and I think it's due to that flood and the fact that most people just want to stay home.
But, yeah.
Thanks to the garage, the venue owned by our colleague, our promoter, that thing started to change in Malta, at least, right? 2018, 2019. It started to change.
2018.
2018, thanks to the garage, to say the truth. Because previously, it was an alien concept that you would even pay what we call here euros. We pay in euros, right? 5 or a small amount of euros to see another band. But thanks to the garage, obviously, I think things were starting to change. 18, 19, 19, we had a good year. 19 was a very good year for everyone here in Malta, at least, I think. Very good.
Yeah,
it was
everybody.
It was, I think, the best ever we've had. Not just Noogies.
The industry here in Malta in 2019 had a really big boom. I mean, we played before the Schneider when he came to Malta, and we played before Cryptos, a very good Indian band, bloody good. What else? We played before the Kiss Forever band, the tribute for Kiss.
That was ours, yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the garage also had big gigs. I mean, and even big bands came to Malta. This was a really good year.
Yes, technically, I believe as the garage, we hosted Combi Christ. That was an event organized by myself. Then we hosted Sinister, Hate, Rotting Christ, White's Dark Funeral. Well, we hosted so much bands, you know,
that's epic.
Covenant.
Yes.
Right, it's nice to see. It's nice to see tight metal scenes.
Yeah, I mean, we've hosted so much bands in 2018 and 2019. It's true, Malta didn't have a metal stroke alternative because as the garage, we don't call it as a metal club, but it's an alternative club. We really accept all kinds of alternative music. Underground music is more than welcome because really there's no venue. We're not speaking about techno and that kind of music, electronic music, which is still underground and still I respect. But we're speaking more on a band kind of underground music. And we had 2 very good years. We nearly had an event every weekend going on. And we're speaking for a crowd. A good crowd for us is 150 people. That's the maximum crowd you can get. An average gig is 90 to 100 people.
Yes,
and as Noogie said, usually it's made from other musicians and from other band members. So when you really get the big band, then the famous band people attend more. But we had 2 very good years going on. But then the last year, you know, it's like with COVID and with all that, we know what happened. So something that really is frightening me at the moment is that I hope people don't get too much used watching things online and watching them for free.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean by artists, and the disconnect is that fans, they want more from an artist for free.
Yeah, because I mean, when things will come back to normal, I believe that the first 3-4 months will be really good because people want to go out. They are annoyed to be inside, but I hope then they don't get back to the attitude of, listen, we used to get free gigs online.
Yeah.
And because those are the things, I think that will be one of the main challenges when things will get back to normal.
Yeah, for sure.
Something else that's a big challenge for bands and artists, I think it's thing like, you know, like what the programs like Spotify and all these also music streaming machines, that it's true that they give more appearance to bands. Then you can discover more bands from this kind of streaming, but the rights they pay to the bands for their music is really cheap. I mean,
it's 0.0047.
Last time there was a big status from a big industrial band that they had their music streamed millions and millions and millions, but they got like about 500 euros in rights, you know, sort of for the amount of streaming they had and the amount of money they were given.
Yeah, no.
It was ridiculously annoying. Even reading it, it was annoying. Imagine for the artists themselves.
Yeah.
I hope that not really music. I'm really afraid for all kind of arts, really, where this thing can happen. That COVID can open this bad habit of having everything for free.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that. Is there anything you guys want to say before we wrap up?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Rob, for having us. I mean,
Oh, no worries. Thank you, guys.
I mean, to be honest, this was the first time I had to use Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
So, yeah. Well, anyway, but yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I mean, for promoting our band. I mean, thank you for enjoying the Till Dark Returns album.
It's a good album.
Yeah, we'll hope either we'll see you up there or you see us down here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my goal is to just say North America is going to go second. We're going to go to Europe and UK first. So that's where I want to perform. I kind of want to go see that side of the world before I travel over here. Yeah, here I can do anytime once things open up. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it was nice talking to you. Thanks for coming by.
Cheers. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks.
What up, headbangers? Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to hit that little likey and subscribe and hit the little bell. Hit the bell.
So you can stay up to date
Yeah.
on all the shit we got going on.
All of it.